It at the what's Metro Cafe?
Metro Cafe Diner here in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Absolutely. So we've been mulling over, and because we're watching Amazon. If you're watching Amazon, you're watching Google, you're watching Facebook, you're watching Walmart.
Yeah.
You're watching all these companies as they kind of react and interact to what things Amazon is doing, and particularly when you look at the Facebook and the Amazon and the Google kind of dynamic.
The big three.
Things are changing.
The big three.
You mentioned that before they used to all seem to have their own turf, but now there seems to be some poaching going on.
Yeah, we didn't tell them who we are.
Oh,
who
that's
are you?
right. Let me do this right.
Yes.
I'm Brent Leary. And you are?
I am the bold one, the cold one, John Colder Ice Lawson, people.
And the crowd rejoices. He did it right.
He did it right. He did it right.
That's
All right.
good.
So, in line with that, I mean, the big three, back in the day, not very long ago, they were some very well-defined towers of expertise. So, Google was all about search. Amazon was all about, e-commerce. And Apple was all about devices and operating systems.
And themselves.
Right? But Amazon, I really think, has driven a market strategy that has encroached into everybody's stuff. And now it's, they're all competing against each other in a very unique way. And I think Amazon was the real driver behind that.
But you know what? I think you're right. But I think the last straw that has changed the game is the success of the Echo device. Because that was something that nobody saw coming. It was a category that pretty much really didn't exist. And when it became pretty, you could say maybe in the last 18 months that the tide turned and people were like, well, this thing is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You started seeing more skills being developed. You started hearing more chatter. And by the time it was really out there, it forced Google and Apple to both react. Now, Google
very late.
Was already, Google was late, but they've actually did a pretty good job doing some catch up.
Yeah.
Apple still hasn't released the HomePod.
Here's the thing that's crazy is that was an encroachment on Apple.
Yeah, Siri
because
was
Apple,
out there
right?
first.
Siri is the beginning of it all, and they just didn't move anywhere near where to me they could have moved with voice recognition and voice-activated devices.
It's almost like they didn't know what they had.
Yeah, they didn't know. They just was out there playing with it, and they didn't build a whole ecosystem around it. Ecosystem.
I like that.
Right, I forgot. Right, but But yeah, I think you're right. That was like a gauntlet nobody saw coming.
And now all of a sudden, I mean, it's turf wars going on all over the place. We even had the big blow up where Amazon stopped selling Chromecast devices.
Right.
And then kind of in response to that, YouTube or Google pulled YouTube videos from the Echo show.
I know.
And then Apple wasn't even, remember Amazon wasn't on Apple TV with the Amazon Prime. So it's like we've entered
what are
a
we
new,
fighting? What are they fighting over now?
They're fighting over attention.
That's what I'm about to say, mind share. So yes, attention.
Because if you have attention, then you can convert that.
Then you can use that for doing everything else.
Right.
And I remember back when Amazon was starting to do this thing with search, where people were starting to use Amazon as the search platform for buying products.
Right.
And Google got crazed about it, and that's when you started seeing Google paid ads, right, come to the top to try to stare that off, and it's not worked necessarily.
Right.
I mean, Amazon now is the platform of choice for buying. If I'm looking for something, people go straight to Amazon. No more Google search. Not no more, but very little now.
But I think the big battle is going to be on voice search.
Yes.
And as we get more comfortable using these devices, it's going to be voice search coming through these other kind of devices other than the phone, but through these speaker kind of devices.
You know what? I'm going to change the term. Because I don't really do voice search. I make voice commands. I'm not searching for anything when I do voice, right? It's rarely that am I looking for it to bring me back multiple results. It's only going to bring me back one result usually.
Well, that's the key to a voice search, because you can't do a voice search and get millions of
10
results back.
yeah.
We're not even going to be talking about result pages
Right,
or
yes.
the
You have
top
to
5.
be
You really
the
want
result.
you have to be the one.
Yeah, you have to be the result. No more
and
of like
that's
the
a
top
game
3
changer.
you're going to get.
Yeah, that's a complete
huge
game changer. And whoever is able to
Ooh.
what?
No, this just made me just think. It's like Amazon doesn't need to sell the first result, right? Because the first result will be a product. Google, however, has used Google paid ads to make you go to the top. So if I'm only going to get one result, how is Google going to be able to monetize that from a advertising perspective? Because just because you pay more doesn't mean you're going to be the best result.
Well,
Oh, man.
let's take
It's
it another
cray-cray.
step, because like you said, that's how Google doesn't sell hard goods for the
No,
most part.
they sell placement.
Right. Who does sell hard goods?
Amazon.
So Amazon makes their money off the transaction,
Yes.
not off the conversion. But more and more, they're making the money off of the transaction of their own branded goods.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
So they actually are able to.
They're triple dipping.
So they're not looking to make, for the most part, their money off of
The search itself, yeah.
itself. They're looking to make the money off of the actual transaction,
Right.
which puts Google at a pretty steep loss, because
Somewhat.
that's how they have to make their money, because they're not making it on any transaction.
Man, that's a game changer.
That is a game changer.
That is a game changer, dude.
And then where does Apple fit into that?
Who? Oh, I'm
that's,
sorry,
that's
Apple.
just wrong.
We love
the
Apple.
fanboys, that
Yeah.
was all polarized.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I
You know
guess
what?
the device itself.
It seems
but
like
not
they're
really.
struggling with that too.
Yeah, they are.
Because remember, the HomePod was supposed to come out right
Before Christmas.
It was supposed to be ready for the holiday
Right,
shopping.
yeah.
They scrapped it.
They had to.
And a lot of folks said they kind of got freaked out at Amazon rolling out device. Remember, there was only one Echo device.
Right, and they
For the very longest
they
part.
did 3 in one day.
Yeah, and then they rolled out some more.
Yes.
So while Amazon has been rolling them out, even Google has been rolling them out, Apple's been stuck. And I think they are trying to figure it out too, because
Yeah,
a
I
lot
don't
of stuff
know.
is going, we're going from a phone-centric environment, at least in the United States, to a multi-device kind of environment.
Right.
So we're not totally dependent on the phone. I can put the phone down and just yell at different parts of my house and have a device
Respond
fulfill
back
my
and do yes.
fulfillment.
Film out, yes.
So where does that put Apple if more and more
If they're
of our
not
interactions are not
If they're
coming
not
from the
making
phone?
the device of choice, I don't know where that puts them.
It puts them like what we are seeing with what you just talked about earlier with Home Depot. It puts them in the kind of similar category as Walmart, responding to what Amazon
yeah,
is doing.
Right, as opposed to being
That's-
the innovator, man. Now you're, being at the back end of the dog and just letting the dog wag the tail. It's not a good thing
Okay,
anymore.
so let me ask you this one. Out of all the companies that we've talked about,
Yeah.
who do you think has the best opportunity to be successful with their response to whatever the Amazon threat is to them?
I think, because you're talking about of the other two.
Yeah.
I definitely think Google is the one, And I think, Google is sort of like the Falcons right now. It's theirs to lose. It really is theirs to lose. I think Amazon has a good running start. They're doing great things, but when it comes to overall just share of part of my life, Google still is the king a little bit, you know what I
Well,
mean?
you know what? There was I saw this presentation at a conference. I think it was NextCon from the folks at Nextiva, and this is back in November of last year. Well, if we post this in 2018, it'll be November of last
2
year.
years ago, right?
So the presenter was from Google, and he brought up a chart, a image, and it had something I don't think any other company could actually say they have, which is Google has 7 platforms that have at least 1 billion users for them. So they've got Gmail, they've got search, they've got
Docs,
YouTube.
or
Yeah,
G-Docs.
There's 7 of them.
That's pretty crazy.
And nobody else can say that.
Right.
So they got so much data
Right.
that's coming in on the things we search for, the conversations we have. Google Play, that's the other thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. Love
So
Google Play.
they have a lot of data on our behaviors, on what we like, on some of our transactions, what we search for. I think you're right. They're the one that has the most ammunition, I think.
Heck yeah.
deal with.
They run our phone, most of our phones.
Yeah.
You know, Joy, they run most of our phones.
I'm using YouTube Live TV right now.
Right.
So they know what channels I'm watching, what I watch, what I save in their cloud.
They just got to figure it all out.
Yeah,
They got to put it all
they
together.
have a shot. The only thing, they don't have a lot of transactional data from a standpoint of hard goods.
I disagree. And the
Okay.
reason why I disagree is because I think with their ad platform, Google AdWords, people put ads out on their platform and they can track that transaction all the way into cart.
Well, that's a certain kind of transaction. It's not all transactions.
No,
And
it's
I
just
think
all the people that advertise.
What Amazon has, when you say 50% of people who shopped on Cyber Monday
Yeah,
bought from Amazon,
right.
that's kind of hard to fight.
Here's the fight. To me, the fight is, even though we have like 2 million third-party sellers on Amazon platform selling products, I think those 2 million understand that Amazon is not a good partner for them. And if Google can position themselves as a good partner for the small and medium business that are actually competing with Amazon, even though we sell on Amazon, you're kind of competing because you don't want to have to pay that premium just to get the traffic that Amazon is bringing.
But who else, right now at least,
Yeah.
can bring that traffic? You might
eBay.
not.
Okay, we just,
Wait a minute, dude. I had a 2010 flashback there for a second.
it is hard.
It's
I don't
a hard
know.
thing.
That's what I'm saying. You're like between a rock and a hard place a lot of times with Amazon as a merchant, and I think everybody else is too.
I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, we're just.
I think Walmart probably feels
Yeah,
like that. I think
yeah.
pretty much every company.
That's
So
something else.
I
man.
do think you're right. Google seems to be the one in the best position. Apple, they're always out there because they have a huge fan base.
Yeah.
They sell. The sales numbers I've seen for the iPhone 10 have been off the charts.
Yep.
The margins are increasing. Got to stop messing around with slowing old phones
Oh,
down.
I was about to say the reason why they're off the charts is because my old phone is slowing down.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
my battery.
That's something I think is going to really cost them.
Yeah, we don't know how big that's going to
Yeah,
be.
that-
in
the impact
2018.
is gonna be
It's going to be pretty
significant, I
good.
think.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have some issues to deal with.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, are we just living in the Amazon world and everybody has to try to figure out how to deal with it?
And if that is the case, here's the one thing I will tell you: it is the climb to the top of the mountain is way more rewarding than being number one. Once you are the number one, then everybody's gunning for you. And I think Amazon has now tipped the scale, and everybody's going to be gunning for them. And there could be some public backlash.
They've
for
got
that.
more big companies from disparate industries gunning for them
Yeah.
than I have ever
Ever seen.
When you got Larry Ellison of Oracle doing a whole 25-minute diatribe during the big keynote of Open World where there's like 50,000 people there, and he spends 25 minutes just going off
ditching
on
it.
AWS.
That's
Then you got Walmart and their response, and that's a totally different industry. And you've got whatever's going on with the Whole Foods.
how did we get here?
I got here in 1997 when I bought my very first book on Amazon.
I mean, how did we get here?
That's for another show.
That's another show.
Another show.
We should do that.
We'll do that because
We do.
guess what?
We
We're
need to
going to
go
be
through the
watching Amazon for
All of 2018.
All right.
At least.
So you'll be there with us, right?
Yes.
All right. We'll see you.